I am a hyperlocal geofarming agent and have really built my business around a geofarm. I wrote a book called Farming for Real Estate Agent, which is a blueprint for selecting, cultivating, and then dominating a geographic real estate farm. And I teach agents how to do that. I also am a real estate business coach. So I teach agents on that circuit how to do that, how to multiply listings from one listing, and how to put systems and processes in place. I'm a systems and process kind of a wonk at heart. So just absolutely passionate about real estate. Will love what I do. Going on 29 years.
Want to attract and convert more leads? Want to learn how digital PR, branding, and SEO can establish and build your brand identity? Welcome to the Market Movers Building Brands and Links with Linkify podcast. We answer these questions and help you ramp up your brand visibility and credibility. Let's cut through the noise and make your business the talk of the town. We're your hosts, Nick and Chris. Let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the Market Movers podcast. Today we are joined by Meredith Fogle, a top producing real estate team leader based in Maryland. She runs the Meredith Fogle team at The List Realty, hosts So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent podcast, and is known for her Making My Listing Famous marketing strategy that turns one listing into many. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good. We had some technical glitches at the very beginning, but we're in full swing now. Meredith, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for the introduction. You did a good job sort of encapsulating some of what I do. So like Chris said, I am a top producing real estate listing agent for the most part, for most of my career. Built a team relatively early on, still run a team, have translated that into a brokerage. We actually serve DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Myself, I am a hyperlocal geofarming agent and have really built my business around a geofarm. I wrote a book called Farming for Real Estate Agents, which is a blueprint for selecting, cultivating, and then dominating a geographic real estate farm. And I teach agents how to do that. I also am a real estate business coach and a speaker. So I teach agents on that circuit how to do that, how to multiply listings from one listing, and how to put systems and processes in place. I'm a systems and process kind of a wonk at heart. So I love that piece of the business. Makes me feel like I've got things in control, even when I might not sometimes. So just absolutely passionate about real estate. Will love what I do. Going on 29 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, well, I was going to talk about something else first, but you mentioned geofarming. So as a non-realtor, has that got anything to do with farming? Are you selling plots of farm? What does it mean?
Metaphorically, in the sense that you do need to sow seeds in your geofarm if you're going to harvest a crop of business from that geofarm. So there's a loose kind of a connection there.
Okay.
It is also similar in that you are defining a geographic like plot of land, right, that you're going to be farming. So you're cultivating relationships in this case, and you're really focusing your efforts on creating transactions within that geofarm. The fact of the matter is that the vast majority of sellers, I think the statistic is like 96% or something of sellers, choose an agent primarily based on local knowledge and expertise and record. So when you are that, like, I see you everywhere agent who has the lion's share of the market in a geofarm, you become a natural on a seller's consideration set. Sometimes you're the only person on the consideration set, which makes a lot of things in real estate a lot easier.
Okay, perfect. So that leads me wonderfully into my sort of first area of discussion, which is when we had a little chat before we came on, you talked about how a whopping 99% of your business came from organic marketing. So, which is incredible. I mean, we have a lot of real estate clients. We know a lot of people in the space are buying leads. We know lead quality is just going down, 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 and it's costing a fortune. So I imagine that stems from this sort of geofarm, be everywhere authority building that you've done. Talk to me about that and what drives that massive amount of organic business for you?
Yeah. So you're exactly right. I think from a very early stage in my real estate career, I realized that at its heart, real estate is a business of relationships. And the deeper those relationships are, the higher intent, if you want to even call it a lead, becomes. The paid lead gen is the lowest intent type of a lead, which is why they're so very hard to convert. People spend so much time trying to convert them, often disappointingly, and a ton of money trying to convert them. Whereas if they spent the same amount of time, effort, and possibly money, although it's a lot less expensive to organically create leads, you are going to get a much better return on that investment than you would if you're spending thousands of dollars on paid leads. I got my very first listing cold calling back in, the early, well, mid 90s, from the basement of the townhouse that I owned back then from the white pages. That was like before the internet for people who don't know. And I was like just determined I was going to find someone who was going to sell a house. I got a whole lot of no's. It was not the most efficient way of doing things, but I got one yes, and that's all I needed. And then I developed a relationship with that seller, and I was able to leverage that listing to create a multitude of other transactions from that listing. And that then is what I replicated moving forward. And what I found was that when I didn't have to spend that time, I didn't want to spend that time in the basement, like, sweating bullets, just getting people to yell at me and hang up on me. That felt terrible. So I knew if I could figure out a different way to do it, if I could meet people organically through our storefront, which is our listings. Back then, I didn't have a brick and mortar office. I didn't have anything like that. I had one sign in front of a listing, and I knew if I could leverage that sign, the rest of it would snowball. And that's exactly what has happened. And it's, of course, evolved. But the lion's share of my organic business comes from leveraging the listing business that I have and deepening community relationships.
Okay, well, that's fascinating. That's going to bring me on to my next point. But just quickly, do you spend no money on paid leads? Then is that
No paid leads.
no
No,
paid leads?
we don't do. And we have tried. We've tried
Yeah,
all
yeah.
platforms. Believe me. Yeah.
But I'm just we interview quite a lot of people in real estate, and obviously we're from the sort of digital PR, link building, SEO, or organic background, so they tend to already be deep in that area. But there seems to be like a commonality amongst like the realtors in the know that this is such a good way of doing it, and yet so many people are like banging their head against the wall with paid leads and not getting anywhere. Is it something which it takes time to do and see the fruits of that labor? Is that why maybe there's a reluctancy for people to switch to something other than paid leads?
I think it's that. I think it's that maybe they don't have the tools, because there's a complement of both like strategic, real physical tools you have to employ, and also soft skills like NLP, communication skills, objection handlers. I call them scripts, but really it's just conversations that you learn to have with people that I think people don't spend enough time focusing on. And if they were to put their effort there, maybe if you're going to spend money, get training in the communication piece of it. And then you'll see if you're going to pay for leads, your conversion rate's going to go up quite a bit. But you really don't need to pay for leads when you've got the skills in place to create conversations organically and then to convert those conversations into clients.
Okay, I love it. Okay, Meredith, make my listing famous. What is that?
Yeah. It's a marketing system that has evolved, of course, through the years and become more and more innovative. And we use AI as part of it now. But what it's meant to do is cast the widest net to find buyers for our listings. And what's really beautiful is when we deploy the Make My Listing Famous marketing system, we also market our business as a byproduct of marketing the listing, which is one reason having listings to leverage makes all the difference in a successful long-term real estate career. But it is a complement of tools from, kind of traditional print marketing, brochures, postcards, signage. Now we have a beautiful little brick and mortar space here on Main Street with a photo in the window of each of our listings, to AI generated video and email campaigns and phone call scripts and, avatars that tell people about the listings, virtual tours, all the things that you can possibly imagine, both digital, print, and also word of mouth we're doing to get the listing out. So it's just a full bore marketing campaign.
Okay, so it's really the shop window of the product, but everything in between that.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that, speaking of paid listing or paid leads rather, that I realized when Zillow came onto the scene is that they were like, I was personally affronted. I was like, they have taken my listing, put it in their storefront, and now they want to sell my leads back to me. I was like livid at this thought, right? So I'm like, okay, how do I, like, they hacked my listings. How do I take that hack back? And what I saw was if I could do a better job marketing my listings than they could do, I didn't need an intermediary and I didn't need to pay for my own leads. I could just create them. So that's what the Make My Listing Famous marketing system is intended to do.
Okay, that's awesome. You also talk about turning a single listing into multiple leads and future clients. So how does that work?
Yeah, so that's what we call the viral listing system. And the way that that works, when you deploy this, you will spawn organically. It's also known as making your listings have babies, is what some people call it.
Oh, I like
You will
that.
spawn at least one listing and 3 buyers from every single listing. So there's a flywheel that we put in place when you take a listing. And part of that, it runs all the way from the seller discovery system that we put in place when we're meeting a seller to preparing their listing for sale, to a coming soon strategy, to making your listing famous, to a concierge seller service, and then a past client system that continues to create referral business that flow into the flywheel. But one of the really pithy pieces of this is the viral listing launch, is what I call it. And this is when you are creating a storm of activity around the listing as you're putting it onto the market. What most agents do in reality is they take a listing, stick it into the MLS, and then they spend their time running around with buyers, right? They kind of just hope the listing's going to sell. And, that's okay if you want to work with buyers, but if you want to leverage listings, then what you need to do is focus on getting that listing marketed and sold. So when we focus on the launch, and part of that launch is what we call a mega open house. The mega open house is a 3-day open house event. And the secret sauce that turns that mega open house into listings is the seller sneak preview open house that happens the night before the weekend of open houses. And you invite every seller, handwritten invitation, followed by a phone call and an email to the seller to let them know what you're doing. A food truck or wine and cheese or some kind of like a party style event is what you want there. Make them feel welcome, because you get those neighbors who are like, oh, I don't want to be the nosy neighbor. I don't want to come through. We want the neighbors to come. They probably know somebody who wants to buy the house. They'll send people our way, and there are future sellers. So they come in, they get to be in rapport with you, and they are blown away by everything that you are already doing to market their neighbor's property. You will be the person that they call when they're ready to sell their property.
So it's showing how damn good you are at doing what you do and not burying or hiding that, but screaming about it from the rooftops. So
Exactly right. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, I can definitely see why that works. Yeah, especially cheese and wine the night before, a bit exclusive, and yeah, and I suppose as well, it's that touch point, isn't it? Because the next door neighbor or the friend of the next door neighbor, they may not be considering to sell now or in 2 months from now, but in 6 months or 12 months when they do, you're going to be top of mind when they're thinking about who do I want to list this seller.
They're in your pipeline. Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. That's fantastic. Okay, you also talk about your email list being a big source of business for you. We, as digital marketers, love the power of the list. It's a super, super powerful channel, but many people struggle with A, building the list, and then B is what do you do with it once you've got it. So could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So email is really one of, I think, those most underutilized and most effective marketing platforms. And if you think about it, most people, it's one of the first things they look at in the morning. You'll open your phone, you might look at text first, but a lot of people look at their email even before they look at their text. And email gets more focus time. So if you're a real estate agent and you're sending a postcard, that gets about like 3 seconds of attention before it usually ends up getting pitched in the trash. Email, people read, especially if you've written them well, if they've got a good subject line, a little bit of a hook to it, and they don't look like it's a piece of spam or a salesy email, people will read your email. Leveraging an email list is super important. Now I'm going to tell you how I do it as a hyperlocal GeoFarmer, but you can do it to any subset of people. It could be past clients. It could be like if you have a niche market of some kind, any kind of an audience that is yours that you want to pursue. They should be on your email list. So the way it works is first you've got to get the email addresses. There are lots of ways that you can do that. Load it into your system and then use an email service provider that you can keep a good reputation on. You've got to have an unsubscribe so that you've got compliance. and then create messaging that is going to resonate with your potential future client. So what that means is you need to know what the problems are that those people want you to solve. That's what business is, right? Solving problems. So when you know intimately what the problems are, that, for example, if you're a real estate agent, what's the problem a seller has right now? Is it the time to sell? I don't know. Should I wait until spring? How should I price my house? What am I going to get in terms of return on investment for preparing my house to sell? When you can answer those questions directly to your future audience, you become the knowledge broker, and it keeps you top of mind for people. It also is a great funnel into other tools. So if you got a link to read more on my website, good for SEO, or a downloadable asset of some kind, again, you're going to become more and more valuable to people.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And are you utilizing that list primarily then to like continually build authority in the eyes of potential people that want to sell with you, or are you also getting granular with like splitting these lists, tagging people with which part of the funnel they came in, and then also like trying to sell to that list for, let's say, people that showed interest in buying at some point? How are you managing that?
Absolutely. Yeah. The more focused you can make the list, the better. So if you're able to divide it by audience type,
Hmm.
that's going to ensure that you have resonance, because what you don't want to do, and what I see happen sometimes, is you've got a list of active clients and you're making your offer to your active clients. And they're
Hmm.
like, does she not even know that I'm already like subscribed? I'm her member, I'm her client. You don't want to do that. So you do want to keep it a pretty good hygiene on your email list. And yes, the more specific you can get. So, for example, in real estate, there is a wave of potential sellers who are like, they've been in their house for 25 plus years, and maybe their house has too many stairs or too much space or too much upkeep or whatever. They're probably going to be downsizing in some capacity or relocating. That subset of clients or future clients gets a very specific message, right? So they're not looking for if you want to move up to your forever home, they're ready for the opposite of that. So if you can align your message by getting their attention, if you have been in your house for 25 years or more, and you find yourself saying, well, this is a lot more upkeep than we really want to take on right now, or you're dreaming of your future home where you don't have to experience winter anymore, whatever it is, you put that in front of them and they're like, oh, she gets me. This is somebody that I need to communicate with. The other piece I'll add to that quickly is to tell a story. This is great marketing at its best, is great storytelling. So you can all day long tell people what you can do for them, but when you can show them by creating a story that they can follow, it makes a world of difference. So when you're able to say, my client so and so was dreaming of being closer to their grandkids on the West Coast. They knew that they needed an agent who could help them create a timeline that would work for them, an outcome in terms of proceeds that would allow them to fulfill their dream. And they needed the flexibility of a buyer who could allow them some time to find where they wanted to go. Here's exactly how we made that happen. And then the kind of like icing on the cake is the testimonial from the seller saying what you did to help them meet their goal. That's like showing the story. And then that seller looks and says, that's us. We need to call.
And that's marketing 101, isn't it? Case studies and testimonials. The more that you can do with that, the more it resonates, the more people trust. Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to get people to give you their email list. So how are you getting email lists? I think that's going to be one that listeners will really want to know.
Yeah, yeah. A few ways. So we are really good at getting people to give us our emails when we are meeting them in person. So once we like kind of engender trust in people and help them understand that we're able to get them something that they are going to want in the future, open houses. Let me go back to that mega open house weekend. That's a great way to get people's email addresses. Also, when you can get in front of people at scale, that is huge. So if you can host an event, we've got Oktoberfest here coming up this weekend. We'll have probably, if it doesn't get rained out, we'll have probably 10,000 people at that event. We've got this beautiful raffle basket that we put out. Everybody gives us their email addresses to enter. So that's one way of getting addresses. The other thing is, think about the ways that you've already got information for people. So if you've got a phone number, you can text the person and you can say, hey, I just realized I don't have your email address. What's the best email address for you? It's a simple ask will get you an email address.
Okay, perfect. And it snowballs as well, doesn't it? The more that you can build on that list and offer value to that list and segment and utilize, like you said, in the correct way. I mean, I see this all the time. And actually it winds me up something rotten when I'm on a email list of a product in a company that I like, and then I get an email saying, do you want to buy this? And it's like, I've bought it, I own it. Why have you not just tagged me as a customer and
Right.
removed me from that promotional email? It doesn't take
Yeah.
any work and it's
Yeah.
lazy. Yeah.
The
Okay, I love
hijinks
that.
right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so content then, on-site content. You said I think quite a large percentage of your leads come from organic Google SEO, which is amazing. That's really what we love to hear. What sort of content is driving that discovery to the website, and then obviously to you as a business?
Well, for us, again, super hyper local content. We do a lot of blogging on our website, answering questions that we know the constituents of our community are asking and being a resource. We also offer things that we know people want most. People want to know what their house is worth. That's another great way of getting email addresses for people, is having some kind of a form on your website. If you're emailing them and just offering them an updated valuation of their home, they come in, they have to enter their email address. Now you've got that. We get leads every single day, multiple leads from our website for people just wanting that information. The other thing that we've really leaned into is AI discoverability. And just in the infancy, of course, of what AI is going to be able to do. So important that you're like jumping on this now, but figure out where you need to be in the online, universe, so that you are found through AI. Ideally, if somebody searches what you are offering and they're on Google, Gemini has you as a resource. I mean, that's like the holy grail if you can get there. So figure out, go into like a GPT and ask it, what do you need to do to become AI discoverable on the various platforms that people might be searching for your services, and tell it to tell you exactly what to do. Follow the directions and get yourself AI discoverable. That's when we're already starting to see good organic leads coming from.
Mm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we work with a number of like high profile realtors that we have been for a number of years. And obviously initially the key focus was SEO, and like tier one digital PR link building was a huge driver for the success that we've shared with those clients. And I think it's a massively underutilized thing for realtors. It's such a PR friendly topic. There are publications that want to quote real estate agents all the time. Realtor.com, House Beautiful, Real Homes, huge publications. You can be quoted in there. And then obviously now with the rise of AI, large language models, primarily focusing and giving preferential treatment to brands and trusted sources, that's where they're, validating the information they're going to surface. So if Meredith Fogle, realtor in your locale, is being talked, I mean, you're obviously a big authority builder, webinars, talks, podcasts. That's what's going to drive brand and long-term sustainability, I think. So yeah, I love that. Do you have like a link building strategy for the website, or is that something which you
We
attract
do.
organically?
Yeah. And so this was something we started on, gosh, when we built our first website was, how can we get people? We wanted to be like the big fish in the small pond. We knew we weren't going to be like the DMV, which is DC, Maryland, and Virginia, for people who don't know, not the Department of Motor Vehicles. What we wanted to be like that big fish here in our small pond. So how could we get people to find us right away? And yes, links that are in the website, huge, but also that hyperlocal content. So one of the things we saw was if we could build out community pages, which were keyword and key phrase rich with the terms that people are searching, that was going to bring people right to us. And we've replicated that when social media came onto the scene. We were trying to use, of course, the hashtag and captions now that drive social media traffic to us with links that go back to our website. So it all works together.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I just want to quickly touch, you've already just talked about the farming and community strategy a little bit, but I am fascinated by this. I'm also interested to know how that's changed, let's say, over the past 10 years.
Interesting question. I would say, if anything, I mean, COVID, of course, changed a lot of things, but if anything, it has become more personal. And you might think it's become more digital, but I would say the people, the hyperlocal geofarmers who are really present in their community, are the ones who are still very successful. And I think the inclination kind of became, well, I can hide behind a screen a little bit, right? Like I can build a website, I can email everybody, I can let, people just come to me, I can run ads and all of those things. And people got closed behind doors. And then all of a sudden, the world opened back up again, and everybody wanted more connection. So the more connected you are to your community, the better you're going to do. And it really is that law of reciprocity. You need to be out there giving in order to have people give back to you. So many times I hear people say, well, I've been geofarming for a year and I got nothing out of it. And I'm like, what are you doing to geofarm? Well, I've been sending 10,000 postcards to 10,000 homes once a month. What else are you doing? Well, that's it. That's geofarming, right? I'm like, oh, no, no, no. That is not geofarming. In fact, you can become a successful hyperlocal geofarmer without ever sending one postcard out. Although postcards are a good way of getting in front of people if they are engineered properly. But being out and about with the people in your community is what makes the biggest difference. Helping with organizations, leading organizations and events, sponsoring if you're going to be there actually as a person, just doing the things that you love genuinely in the community. That's the thing. Go for a walk, take your dog out, like whatever the things are, say hello to human beings. That's what's really going to create the relationships that build the trust that lead to transactions.
So it's not a job for introverts 2025 and beyond. You've got to
Well,
put yourself out there.
here's the real truth to this, Chris. Most highly successful real estate agents are introverts.
Okay, right.
They're extroverted introverts. So they
Okay.
realize there's usually some kind of like a little bit of a purpose in what they're doing. And if they're purpose driven, whether it's just to create a better community or to build their business or both at the same time, as long as there's a purpose behind it, their introversion wall comes down and they can get out and be with people.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. And relationships is what it's all about anyway, isn't it? Good old school marketing, relationships. Yeah. Okay. As we are now in the era of AI, you talked about it briefly. Is it going to change everything? Should the big portals should we be concerned? What's the state of play with AI and your vision for the future?
Yeah. Well, it is, like I said before, very much in its infancy. So I think the sky is the limit with what AI will be able to do right now. What it will never be able to do, I firmly believe, is replace a human being. And it's really interesting, actually. Do you know what HeyGen is? Have you heard of HeyGen?
Yeah.
So HeyGen creates a video avatar, if you don't know what it is, of you. And it's gotten a lot better. It was very inauthentic looking to begin with. I remember so vividly. So I have a son who is a computer game designer by education and is our AI implementer now. And the first time I did the HeyGen avatar, I showed it to my mom, who is, she'll kill me if I say her age, but she's my mom. And she was like, oh, that looks just like you. That's really cool. I show it to my son. He's like, never show that to another human being again.
Yeah.
He immediately was like, that does not look at all authentic. So, but like I said, it's come a long way, but still there's always that little, we're humans. We know other human beings. We can sense it, at least for the foreseeable future, we'll be able to. So there will always be that warm exchange of energy, I think, that happens between people that an AI probably will never be able to completely replace. That said, there's a lot that it will be able to replace, like efficiencies in systems and processes, like creating wonderful marketing pieces, like generating beautiful video and graphics. There's so much that it can do and will do. And it also is a fabulous thinking partner. So I'm writing a non-real estate related book right now, and it has just helped me think through the whole process, asks me questions I wouldn't have thought that have helped the book become what it is. So I think that's the other place where it becomes really useful, and it thinks way faster than we can. That's the other thing. It'll move up to every eventuality where it would have taken us 5 years to get there.
Yeah. And to speak to your HeyGen example, I completely agree with you. That sort of replacing the human element, where the human element might just be that last 1% push of whatever you need. That is the difference. And that is what many of us won't be fooled by and don't want to be lost. Like I watched, there's a YouTuber that I follow that started doing half of his content with the HeyGen avatar, and it's almost perfect. But as soon as I realize it's an avatar video, which is from the vocal patterns more than it's a bit the face, but more the sort of, I just think, I'm not interested because it's not him. Yeah. Yeah. But I also think you're completely right. Systems, processes, that's the sort of survive or die part now. You already said you have an AI implemented in the business, which I think is awesome. I think anybody that's sleeping on this is potentially going to get left behind. And that's not because you've just, asked ChatGPT to do some stuff for you and therefore it's being done. You're implementing it in a way which makes your existing systems and processes that much more faster and just everything is just you are able to execute at just a much higher capacities. What are some of those internal systems and processes that you have seen enhanced by AI so far, and what are you excited that you could potentially do in the future?
There's so much. Writing our newsletter is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Creating our seller update reports that we send out on a weekly basis is another one of them. Simple workflow management, for example, just automating when we go on a listing. My habit is to voice record notes as I'm walking through. I used to come back, I take the notes, I make sure they all looked good. I uploaded them into our CRM, and then my ops team had to go and kind of figure out what to do with it. Now AI can take it, my voice notes, transcribe them. It knows what should be filtered out and what shouldn't be filtered out. We'll write the listing description. We'll start to caption photos for me. We'll fill all of the slots in our workflow management system and assign the tasks to the right people. So it's incredible, the efficiencies, and does some of the tasks for us. So, if we need photos scheduled, they can contact the photo company and fill out a form and schedule the photos right when we come back from the listing. But the really cool one, so the one I'm most excited about right now is what I'm calling an AI sales manager. And we have a sales manager, but the AI sales manager, here's what it can do. It can look through a CRM, go into each of my agents' databases, and bubble up opportunities for the agent. So every morning when the agent comes in, not only is it, here are the 5 people that are most likely to transact and that you should reach out to today, here's exactly what you should say to them. Here was your last conversation. Here's their communication style. Here's a script you can use. And would you also like me to write an email to them to follow up with this? Or would you like me to send them this resource that you also have available that the agent might have thought of like tomorrow once they had the conversation? But the AI is thinking about it right now and just is making it all so much easier. We also have like an in-house CMA, competitive market analysis tool that we built that it used to take us an hour to do these. It takes like 30 seconds now. So there's so much.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't keep up with it, isn't it? And there's so much cool stuff that you can do. We had a brokerage owner on a few months ago who was talking about analyzing all of his staff's like sales calls to find out if there was patterns in the more successful ones, length of time. So that's sort of like bulk analysis of actual internal data, which
So
is
good.
amazing, proprietary and stuff that, if you can make 1% better, then the results it's incredibly exciting. Okay, Meredith, it's been awesome to have you on. I've really enjoyed this. I love American real estate. They're our best, I'd say one of our best sort of clients. And I think it's a fascinating time for you guys as an industry as well. If people want to hunt you down, I know you've got your book where you talk about the geofarming and your own podcast. Like, where's the best place that people can go to track you down?
So if you want to message me directly, Meredith the List Realty, if I can talk, is Instagram. So that's an easy place to find me. Farming for Real Estate Agents is the book. So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent is the podcast. You can find that anywhere podcasts are distributed, books everywhere as well. I'm also a Tom Ferry real estate business coach. So if anybody needs business coaching, tomferry.com, that's the website to sign up for coaching, or you can reach out to me directly and I can hook you up. But lots of places. I'm all over social media, so it's easy to find me, Chris.
Exactly how you should be. See that? All over social media. That's exactly how it should be. Meredith, thank you so much. It's been great.
You too. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
You too.